10:45. So I have 20 minutes, and I'll do that within 20 minutes. So, wisdom that builds. If you forget everything that I'm going to say for these few minutes, don't forget this. Do not burn your house because of a rat inside that house. I moved to Nairobi 7 months ago, and I got a good house at TRM, near Kasarani, TRM. And I moved to the 6th floor. I didn't know, even such a house, there will be a rat. I'm asking you, what is your advice? I move out of this house because there is a rat? What is your advice? I burn the house. I have the rat maybe in my menu. What is your advice? Niweke dawa? Do not burn your house because of a rat inside the house. So I wish you can tell your friend, do not burn the house because of a rat inside. Do not burn the house because of a rat inside. AIC Jericho is special to me. Very special. And you don't know how much this church is special to me. This is the church that sent me, commissioned me in year 2006 to go to Horn of Africa and work among Somalis. And I am honored to stand here today. I wish I'll get some time to come and explain. I wish a time will come when even the Sunday school will understand. When AIC Jericho commissioned me to go to Horn of Africa, what are the results? I hope that day will come when I will have time to explain what exactly happened, so that the church can really know what it means to support missions. In Proverbs 19:11, that's the verse I'm looking at, Proverbs 19:11, it's a very simple verse. A man's wisdom yields patience. It is for your own honor to overlook an offense. And today I want to look into 3 areas: individual life, family, and mission. And then it'll be done. So the verse says, a man's wisdom yields patience. It is for your own glory, it is for your own honor to overlook an offense. That is Proverbs 19, verse 11. Wisdom produces patience. Maturity overlooks some offenses. What is this rat? Rat can be small issues. But the fire, burning the house, that is your reaction, how you react. Lives are not destroyed by big problems, no, but by wrong reactions to small issues. Lives are not destroyed by big problems, but by wrong reactions to small issues. When I come to individual life, according to James 1 and verse 19, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. But today what we see is opposite of that. You feel bad, you react. You assume things. You speak out of assumption. You are hurt, you withdraw. And what is the result? We destroy our lives because of wrath inside the house. Do not burn your individual life because of wrath inside. 2 months ago, March 2026, you can find it on the social media, or maybe you heard it on TV. Regina, second year law student at Moi University, was found dead because he was supposed to face a Senate. Maybe there was something to do with the exams, irregularities. And Regina, she's discipled by my brother. I know her. She's a far relative. But she killed herself because there was a rat inside her life. Could be pressure, fear, internal struggle. Nothing big outside, but inside there may be unmanaged rats. Some people here today maybe are tired, overwhelmed, struggling silently. If we react quickly, we burn our individual houses. Do not burn your individual life, your personal life, because of a rat. Ask yourself, why am I reacting? Is it worth the damage? What does wisdom require? Wisdom requires sometimes we speak, sometimes we stay silent, and sometimes we wait. Do not destroy your life because of a rat inside your personal life. Can you tell your friend, do not burn the house because of a rat? Families. According to the Song of Solomon 2:15, little foxes spoil the vineyard. Homes do not collapse suddenly. They wear down slowly, slowly. Small rats in families. Could be disrespect, could be silence. There could be distractions. There could be unforgiveness. There could be social media. There could be a phone call. There could be a WhatsApp message. There could be an SMS. And then the whole family is at fire. Gary Thomas wrote a book called Sacred Marriage. I wish we can read that book. I heard there'll be a seminar somewhere about families, but that's a good book. Gary Thomas, Sacred Marriage, what I like about that book is what he said, marriage is not, this is very interesting, it's not for happiness alone, but for holiness. Marriage is not all about happiness, but maybe God meant it for holiness and not just happiness. Marriage is a spiritual discipline. What am I saying? Protect the relationship more than the argument. You can win an argument, but lose the person. We destroy our families trying to prove a right, try to prove a point, try to be right. Please, do not win an argument and lose the person. You can ask a very simple question for the families. Is this worth damaging the relationship? Is this worth damaging the relationship? There could be an SMS, there could be a phone call, there could be a gossip, but think about that. Now I come to the last point, mission. Reality, as far as AICMD is concerned, currently we are talking of around 10,000 congregations in Kenya, Jericho being one of those 10,000 congregations. We are talking of around 7 million members in Kenya. The missionaries that have been sent, and maybe you have seen them in that poster that we normally display. The missionaries we have currently, we are talking of 30 missionaries. And I'll tell you, it's a big shame. 30 missionaries only. That is 27 couples and 3 singles. What are their ages? They are aged between 40 to 60. And we are supposed to retire at age 60. What does this mean? We don't have missionaries between 20 to 30 years. That means we don't have missionaries to reach Regina before she burned her personal life. Aging, no succession. So it's like ACMD is an endangered species. Risk is real. As the director of missions, I can see a possibility of sending 300 missionaries in the next 5 years. It is possible. But for that to happen, some rats, we have to know how to deal with some rats. If I have 300 missionaries today, 75 of them, they will focus on Jerusalem, as Pastor has said. They will focus on Jerusalem because the Bible is very clear. Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. But get it, theologically, it is not that you finish Jerusalem so that you can go Judea. No, it has to happen at the same time. So 75 of the missionaries, we will take them to our churches for revival and discipleship so that they can meet with Regina before she burned her life. So in Jerusalem, it is for revival and discipleship. The next 75 will go to Judea. Judea is nearby neighbors. We call them near culture non-Christians. Near culture non-Christians, these are our neighbors. For example, if I'm here in Nairobi, I can talk of Somalis in Eastleigh, surrounded by churches, but they are not in the faith. I can talk of Kibera, Nubians in the midst of churches. That is near culture non-Christians. They need evangelism. We need 75 missionaries to take care of those neighbors. Another 75, I can send them to what we call UPG. That is unreached people groups, especially northeastern Kenya and coastal Kenya. When we talk of unreached people group, we are talking of any ethnic people group, any tribe with less than 2% evangelical Christians. That is unreached community. And in Kenya, we can talk of around 24 of them, mostly found in northeastern and coastal Kenya, especially Tana River, Lamu, and those places. And the rest 75, we can take them to Frontier People Groups, FPGs. Frontier People Groups, we are talking of Horn of Africa, the very place I was sent by AC Jericho. I was in Djibouti for 7 years. That is Horn of Africa. And North Africa and the Middle East. That's how I can do with 300. Currently, we almost have none. It's only one couple working in Frontier that is reaching Fulani people that we have sent there in West Africa. Only one couple sent by AC Kenya. The real problem is small rats. No prayer, that's one of the rats. No power. No fasting, no breakthrough. No prayer, no fasting. When you don't have prayer, you don't have power. When you don't have fasting, no breakthrough. When no giving, no progress. No alignment, wasted effort. No seeding, no harvest. So 5 things: prayer, giving, prayer, fasting, giving, alignment, and descending. 5 things, and we will be able to do the mission. Prayer, fasting, giving, alignment, coordination, that's coordination, and sending. Practical steps. Prayer. Already Ngeno has mentioned that. Set time. We have Mondays from 8 for 30 minutes praying for the unreached. No other things, praying for the unreached. My time, every time 9:38, my alarm will call me. 9:38. You can note it down. 9:38. 9:38. The alarm will call me in the morning, and it will call me at night. And you can set also that time. Why have I set that time? 9:38 in the morning and 9:38 in the evening. The reason is that is Matthew chapter 9, verse 38. It says, "Pray for the Lord of harvest, so that he can send workers, for the harvest is ripe." So it reminded me every morning, and it reminded me every night. So when I'm living in TRM, when I see all these young people in university being drunk, whenever I see them, I see a harvest. I'm asking God, what do we do with all these? These are our daughters, these are our sons. Need to be reached. God is asking, ask for the Lord of harvest to bring workers. Fasting. You can set time, especially for us, we have set Fridays. 6 to 6, no food. And you can fast anything. You can fast social media. You can fast bed. Simply because you want to see the reached communities being engaged. When you fast, that money you could have used for breakfast or maybe lunch, you can do the third thing. That 50 shillings you could have used for lunch or 150, you can send it direct to missions. That is giving. Aligning, what I mean by alignment, I wish every missionary can be brought at the national so that we can be able to coordinate the work. Today, as AIC, it's like a team that everybody is trying to score goal in their own way. Local churches sending missionaries, DCC sending missionaries, regional sending missionaries, area sending missionaries, but there is no coordination. I wish there is a way you can bring these missionaries, other department, so that other places will not be neglected. Sometimes you find duplicate of efforts. You find some areas with so many missionaries, other areas with nothing. So that's why we need alignment. At the sending, we need to send like Antioch. when you sent me my first fruit. Today to me is a very special day. I was sharing with Ngeno this morning. I actually felt so touched that my first fruit in Djibouti, that young man that was being trained to be a radical Muslim. And 4 years before I arrived, 4 years before you sent me from this church here, there was a young lady from UK who was teaching English in that country. And this young lady finished the class, and then she said, well, if the class is over, but if anybody wants to remain there, I have a video that you can watch. And of course, it was Jesus' movie. So this young man watched the movie, and that was the first time he was exposed to Jesus. And that movie troubled him for 4 good years. The young lady was just there for a short term, 3 months missions, and then she left the country. And now 4 years down the line, the guy showed up in the library where I was working and said to me, 4 years ago, I watched a movie here about Isa. Can I watch that movie again? I started discipling that young man for 3 good years in my house. And after 3 years, the question he was asked me is, why have you not baptized me? And then it's like, I didn't know even you have believed. So I baptized him. And eventually, he continued reaching out with me. And he got married to a Swiss Germany who was a missionary in a country in Yemen. They got married. A lady that was in Yemen, they got married. And now, a few years ago, they moved to Germany, Swiss Germany. So he sent me a small card. That was like a year ago. He said to me, always remember, I'm a member of AIC. Let me tell you, the baptism card that I gave him, it is written AIC Jericho. And today he's in Germany. This morning, I was shocked because I sent him also the message that we are sending people about the missions. And then he sent me a short message, said, remember every time, I'm also a member now of AIC, and I want to participate in missions. So he showed me a collection in a lot of money, I don't know, in Swiss Germany, kind of those money. He said, this money I'm preparing to send for the missions. It is because I was sent like Antioch. A.C. Jericho said me the way Paul was sent by the church in Antioch. That's the reason. And that is just one fruit. That's why I'm saying, Pastor Musili, I wish maybe one time I'll get time to explain all what happened in that nation. And all it is because there was an Antioch, a church that was sending me like Antioch. I'm going to conclude this slowly with just a few stories here. Mission is not based on it's finishable. And at the time to finish the mission, it's not a theory. Matthew 24, verse 14, it is a task to be completed. When Jesus comes, it's not the issue of time that we are looking the calendar, but it is a task. Once the gospel would have gone to every nation, then the end will come. Everyone has to participate. Pray, give, and go. Wisdom is telling us it yields patience, and it's for man's glory to overlook some offense. Do not burn the house because of a rat inside the house. I'm finishing with this. I asked permission from this person to share this story. Stella Maseki was born in Mubuni, Wote, Makueni County, and partly raised in Changamwe, Mombasa, before her family relocated back to Makueni during her primary school years. She later graduated from Moi University in 2009 with a degree in food science and nutrition. Soon after, she gave birth to twin boys, what she calls earning 2 degrees, an academic degree and a motherhood degree. Her sons are now in Form 3. During a quiet season at home, raising her children, Stella experienced a life-changing encounter with Christ and surrendered her life fully to God. She later moved to Nairobi, seeking employment, working in research within health and marketing sectors. But currently, she's not employed. She's just renting a room somewhere with the help of a friend. In 2024, during the 60th anniversary of the Africa Inner Church Mission Department, she had a radio appeal on Biblia Husema Broadcasting. She wrote down the banking details, the paybill number we are talking about now, but at that time it was bank details, and began giving immediately. What makes her story extraordinary is not just the total amount, it is how she gives. Her bank records, in our office there, headquarters, records daily deposit of Kenya shillings 1, Kenya shillings 2, Kenya shillings 24. Small, repeated, intentional amounts, day after day. Occasionally, large amounts, but often just 1 shilling given in faith. From October to December last year, those small, consistent deposit accumulated to Kenya shillings, that's 7,842. In October, she gave 1,186. November, 5,918. December, 30,727. Her intentional consistency stood out, leading to visits to the mission office in 2024 and again in February 2026. That's when I met her this year, February. And I listened to her story. Stella is not a pastor. She's not a missionary. She's not aware of the donor and not formally employed. But she gives faithfully. Mission is not sustained by large gifts alone, but by consistent obedience. Giving is not about income level. It's about heart level. Stella proves that anybody can give, even 1 shilling at a time. She gives not out of surplus, but out of faith. This year, we checked a few months ago, and it was a total of 47 this time. It's not 37 now this time, it's 47,000. So it is possible. I conclude with Lawrence. This is a young man coming from Kapswar in Marakwet. His work is to install solar systems. He came across the AIC missions page on Facebook while scrolling. He responded immediately. He made a decision. Every Monday, whenever he receives his commission, he shares with missionaries. So far, he has given 11 times, and every time he has given 1,001 shillings. I called him to thank him and pray with him, and he was completely shocked. Why? He did not know that anyone had noticed what he was doing. The small rats that are eating mission, prayer, fasting, okay, giving, alignment, and sending. If these rats can be dealt with, Horn of Africa will be engaged with the gospel. Middle East will be engaged with the gospel. North Africa will be reached. Do not burn your house because of a rat inside. Do not burn your family because of a rat inside. Do not burn missions because of a rat. Be said like Antioch. May God help us to say like Antioch once again. To say like Antioch. I pray. How I pray. Amen.